Subject line was, thank you. The email was sent Wednesday night by Michael Pack, Donald Trump's new head of the U.S. Agency for Global Media. The recipient was Karen Kornbluth, former ambassador and member of the agency's board. This is what it says, quote, Dear Ms. Kornbluth, thank you for your service on the board of directors of the Middle East Broadcasting Networks. Pursuant to my authority as CEO and the bylaws of the Middle East Broadcasting Networks, I have terminated your membership on the board effective immediately. The agency appreciates your contributions and wishes you all the best in future endeavors. Sincerely, Michael Pack. That's it. Thank you, get lost. That was the whole thing. That email, or a personalized version of it, was sent Wednesday night to all members of the governing board for the U.S. agency that runs Voice of America and the other international broadcasting networks for the U.S. government. It was sent by the newly installed CEO, Michael Pack, who was picked for the job by President Trump and just recently approved by the Republican-controlled Senate. It was Republican appointees to these boards that got this letter. Democratic appointees got it. They all got it. Everybody out, effective right now. Mr. Pack also then fired the heads of the company's new news divisions, including Radio Free Europe and the Middle East Broadcasting Network. Why did this newly appointed Trump appointee, who says that Steve Bannon is his mentor, why did he just come in and take a machete to this particular part of the U.S. government? Is there reason to worry that this could be the opening salvo of an effort to try to twist this media agency with its budget of hundreds of millions of dollars and its global reach, including into the United States? Is there reason to worry that this might be the first opening salvo of an effort to turn that network into something that serves the president instead of serves the purposes laid out in the charter of these networks? Tonight, some of the unceremoniously fired board members are responding in a letter to this new CEO, Michael Pack. 4 board members, 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats, write this, in part, quote, we call on you to respect the firewall guarding the editorial independence of the agency and grantees and their adherence to the highest standards of professional journalism, to maintain qualified boards and management, and to continue the nonpartisan legacy. They continue, quote, you have inherited a critical U.S. asset, and we urge you to protect it by respecting the firewall, maintaining qualified boards and management, continuing this nonpartisan legacy. Joining us now are 2 signers of that letter, 2 newly former members of the U.S. Agency for Global Media. Ambassador Karen Kornbluth served in the Obama administration as ambassador to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and Ambassador Ryan Crocker, who's a Republican who served in both Republican and Democratic administrations as ambassador to Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Syria, Kuwait, Lebanon, and potentially others that I have forgotten. Ambassadors, thank you both so much for joining us. I really appreciate you being here tonight.
Thanks for having us.
It's nice to have the both of you here with us tonight, both a Democrat and a Republican who can personally symbolize the fact that these advisory roles and these agencies that you've served have been nonpartisan. I mean, by definition, media always has some sort of controversy around it. But is it fair for those of us looking in from the outside to say that there has been a legit bipartisan tradition here and a legit insulation from American partisan politics?
Rachel, first, just to correct what you said there, I am not a Republican, nor am I a Democrat. I'm an independent, and I made that clear when I was asked to come on this board. I was a career foreign service officer, and if you look at the 6 embassies that I was privileged to serve in, 3 were under Republican administrations and 3 under the Democratic administrations. So that's bipartisanship.
Absolutely. Embodied in yourself. I apologize for having introduced you in that way. But let me ask you and Ambassador Kornbluth if it is fair to look at this agency and the kinds of advisory roles that you have both played in this agency as a legitimately bipartisan, nonpartisan experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were appointed to what's considered a bipartisan role to fill Democratic seats and Republican seats, but we function together in a completely nonpartisan way. And the agency has support from appropriators and authorizers in the Hill, from both sides of the aisle. The Secretary of State sat with us on the board and all supported the mission of the organization and the independence of the networks and the new entity, the Open Technology Fund, because there's this appreciation, just as you laid out beautifully, that these entities are key tools in our soft power toolbox. And perhaps even